Hello everyone, what is up? It is me, Ewan from What Culture, coming to you today on a Sunday of all days because over the weekend there was this big old thing called DC Fandom and they revealed loads of stuff regarding games, comics, TV, and of course film. I've already shot a few videos that are going up on What Culture Gaming right now, so if you're interested in the announcements regarding Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game, go over there and check it out right now because I have some thoughts on both announcements you may find entertaining. Or not. Anyway, seeing as how we are on the main channel, I thought it would be a great idea to dive deep into all the Bat news we got at yesterday's event, obviously referring to Batman there because we put Bat in front of everything if it's Batman related, because it's the Bat news, and there was lots of Bat news, and the first bit of Bat news that graced our screens actually occurred at yesterday's Flash panel, which revealed more about the movie that has been just through the most weird development cycle over the last God knows however, many years. We've gone through so many different scripts and we've finally gotten one now from Christina Hodson, which is actually, we've known for a while. It's going to actually, play around with the Flashpoint comic that released in 2011, which is all to do with the multiverse and all sorts of different bits and bobs there. And one of the most exciting things about the film, obviously, if you've been keeping up with news surrounding it, is that Michael Keaton will reprise his role as Batman in this feature because obviously, Barry Allen, when he goes to the multiverse, he's probably going to wind up in the Burtonverse of Bat films where he'll then meet Michael Keaton, which is just, I can't believe I'm saying this. We're getting a film that is about the multiverse, and that is so cool to me. I do feel slightly sorry for Barry, given that this should be his film really, and we're getting so excited more about the Batman news regarding it, but still, they revealed loads of concept art for the film, including a look at Barry's new suit, which is very of the New 52. We're going to have lines everywhere mold, which I'm not really a big fan of. However, there was an image of him posed next to Keaton's Batman in a concept art image, and oh my god, it looks so cool. It is so cool seeing actual concept artists drawing images of Keaton's Batman in 2020 with the Flash. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this film when it actually drops and they can actually start filming. Mainly just because of Michael Keaton, because he's the best live-action Batman, in my view. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, the most exciting Batman news we got yesterday was to do with The Batman, the new film by Matt Reeves, which I am so excited for. I've been looking forward to this film for years now. Matt Reeves is one of my favorite directors currently working at the moment, and everything I've heard about this project has basically just made my heart swell with joy because it just genuinely sounds like he gets the character. He wants to do a proper Batman movie that is about a detective, a sad emo boy detective set during the early years of his career, and not just pulling inspiration from the traditional sources that we'd associate with Batman. He's really going back to what I think is, the genesis of the modern character, which is in the 1970s, with the works from Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams and Steve Englehart, and really pulling inspiration from there, exemplified in my view by the fact that Batmobile looks like an actual car. It just looks great. But yeah, we got our first teaser trailer for the film yesterday. Reeves mentioned that only 25% of the film had been shot, and oh my god, if that's only 25% of the film, honestly, it just looks amazing. I was absolutely blown away by all of it. The Riddler looks sinister as hell. I particularly like the moment where we see Batman consulting on an active crime scene just out in the open with Gordon. That is so cool to me. That's something that's a visual, we've seen once before in the the Nolan films, and we've seen it before, obviously, in the Burton and Schumacher films as well, which again I guess is every single Bat film really, now that I put it that way. But not in the sense that he's just surrounded by everyone else. He's not a closely guarded secret. We all know that he's working with the GCPD in this world, which is really interesting. And the Riddler looks terrifying. He looks absolutely terrifying. I'm very much here for a creepy Riddler. Batman meets David Fincher. I'm all for it. And there were so many different moments in this trailer that just I absolutely adored. The use of Nirvana. I think it's a very fitting, something in the way. I think that's a great song to play over this trailer. So yeah, that's really cool. Apart from the trailer's great choice of music, I also loved how it spotlighted our first looks at Catwoman as well, played by Zoe Kravitz, and then obviously, Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, who looks borderline unrecognizable. That was really cool. And obviously we get a quick voiceover from Andy Serkis's Alfred too, and lots of shots of the Batsuit in action, lots of shots Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, looking very tired. But again, you know, it just looks so cool. And I think my personal highlight from the trailer is the bit where he's fending off with a Joker-themed gang. Now, I'm curious about this because it could just be, you know, the Joker is around and he has his own gang. Maybe Batman's already dealt with the Joker at this point in the story. Reeves did mention that this is a year 2 story and not a year 1 story. But again, he just takes him on and he absolutely leathers him. That is, you know, we've had a tendency before. I know people will point out the warehouse scene in Batman v Superman, you know, that was when we really got our first out in the open, this is how Batman fights kind of brutality. But for me, this was much more measured and calm and assured and then explosive at the end because, you know, he really does leather into this guy and people have pointed out how the sound actually changes so that it gets softer with each hit because, oh boy, there are a lot of broken bones there. But then after that, we then get the Batmobile igniting its exhaust, and oh my god, this film just looks incredible. I cannot wait for it to release. They're due to start filming again very shortly. So yeah, just roll on the release date. I cannot wait for the Batman. It just looks so good. Reeves mentioned as well, just to personally just point out, you know, one of my favorite comics, Batman Ego. He mentioned that as a major touchstone in terms of understanding the psychology of the character, which is great. Batman Ego is one of my favorite comics ever written by the late, great Darwin Cook, and drawn by him as well. So if you ever get the chance to pick that up, you now have more incentive to do so because it is going to inspire, you know, key parts of the portrayal of Batman in this film. Reeves actually also provided some really interesting details regarding the upcoming GCPD show that's due to, you know, hit on HBO Max. He mentioned how it's going to be a year 1 show, so it's going to be a prequel to the actual full film, and it'll follow a corrupt cop who is battling with his own soul. So again, I'm really excited about that, and especially so if we get some Renee Montoya, because I would love to see Renee Montoya on the big screen, and you know, if that means a chance we could get the Question, I'm just saying the Question's the best. We need the Question in a film at some point or another. Whether it's Vic Sage or Renee, I don't really care, but I love both those characters, and it would be great to see them in a film at some point or another. Also Harvey Bullock, because he's just a big old, he's just Harv, isn't he? Just big bad Harv. Well, no, that's Two-Face. He's also big and bad, but you get what I mean. And lastly, this is another personal highlight for me, and it's a great chance to plug the comics channel, What Culture Comics. You should go subscribe right now. We do loads of really cool stuff. John Ridley's upcoming Batman comic was announced. He'll be writing that, and then Nick Derrington, who did the art for Batman Universe, has done art for all sorts of other DC projects, and will be doing the art for this book as well. But it's being written by John Ridley, who wrote 12 Years a Slave, and is currently in the midst of writing the upcoming The Other History of the DC Universe. And he confirmed in the panel yesterday that his Batman has a more than 47% chance of being a Batman of color, which is really exciting as well. We've had rumors for a while now that DC will be looking to introduce a black Batman at some point or another. And Ridley's series, you know, given that it's going to come out soon, or within the year, I would imagine, we've got more news coming from that on September 12th that DC Fandom 2, DC Fandom Strikes Back. And yeah, just excited to learn more about this series because he's such a talented writer. And the series itself will apparently also focus on the Lucius Fox family. So potentially Luke Fox, who previously was Batwing for a period of time, maybe he becomes a new Batman, I don't know. We have this lovely image here of like the series' cover, and again, I'm just really excited for it to come out. But yeah, that was all the Batman news that I crammed into my brain and then slowly regurgitated onto the screen. I've got a really sore throat now because I've been talking for so long, but again, I just want to reiterate that DC Fandom, that was such a good event. I'm so excited, and as someone who has had a little bit of bat fatigue recently, it's great to see that energy kind of galvanized. I'm really excited to see what's to come regarding Batman. So let me know what you think of this all down in the comments below. Which piece of Batman-related media are you most excited for? And how great was that trailer? Once you've done that, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and head back on over to whatculture.com for more news, lists, and articles like this every single day. As always, you can follow me on Twitter @EwanRuinsThings, and I will see you next time. Bye!